Now, in continuation, my previous lecture, greenhouse effect, we will discuss in this lecture real greenhouses. What is real greenhouses? The real greenhouses effect of the atmosphere is named by analogy to greenhouses which become warmer in sunlight. However, a greenhouse is not primarily warmed by the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect is actually a misnomer, since heating in the usual greenhouse is due to the reduction of convection, while the greenhouse effect works by preventing absorbed heat from leaving the structure through radiative transfer. A greenhouse is built of any material that passes sunlight, usually glass or plastic. The sun warms the ground and content inside just like the outside, and these then warm the air. Outside, the warm air near the surface rises and mixes with cooler air aloft, keeping the temperature lower than inside when the air continues to heat up because it is confined within the greenhouse. This can be demonstrated by opening a small window near the roof of a greenhouse. The temperature will drop considerably. It can demonstrate it experimentally that a greenhouse with a cover of rock salt heats up an enclosure similarly to one with a glass cover. Thus, greenhouses work primarily by preventing convecting cooling. Heated greenhouses are yet another matter, as they have an internal source of heating. It is desirable to minimize the amount of heat leaking out by radiating cooling. This can be done through the use of adequate glazing. Related effects. Anti-greenhouse effect. What is anti-greenhouse effect? The anti-greenhouse effect is a mechanism similar and symmetrical to the greenhouse effect. In the greenhouse effect, the atmosphere lets radiation in while not getting thermal radiation out, thus warming the body surface. In the anti-greenhouse effect, the atmosphere keeps radiation out while letting thermal radiation out, which lowers the equilibrium surface temperature. Such an effect has been proposed for Saturn, Moon, Titan. Bodies other than Earth. The greenhouse effect on Venus is particularly large for several reasons. What are the reasons behind it? First one is it is nearer to the sun and earth by about 30. It is nearer to the sun than earth by about approximately 30%. अर्थ के कंपैरिजन में ये सन के 30% ज़्यादा नियर होता है. Its very dense atmosphere consists mainly of carbon dioxide. So these are the two main factors. So Venus experienced a runaway greenhouse in the past, and we expect that Earth will in about 2 billion years as solar luminosity increases. How does the greenhouse effect work? ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट किस तरीके से काम करता है, क्या उसमें मैकेनिज्म होती है? सोलर एनर्जी एब्जॉर्ब एट अर्थ सरफेस is radiated back into the atmosphere as heat. As the heat makes its way through the atmosphere and back out to space, greenhouse gases absorb much of it. Why do greenhouse gases absorb heat? Greenhouse gases are more complex than other gas molecules in the atmosphere, with a structure that can absorb heat. They radiate the heat back to the Earth's surface to another greenhouse gas molecule or out to space. There are several different types of greenhouse gases. The major one are, we know that, carbon dioxide, water vapor, methane and nitrous oxide. These gas molecules all are made of 3 or 4 atoms only. The atoms are held together loosely enough that they vibrate when they absorb heat. Eventually, the vibrating molecules release the radiation, which will likely be absorbed by another greenhouse gas molecule. जो हीट, जो रेडिएशन ये निकालते हैं मॉलिक्यूल्स, वो हीट दूसरे ग्रीन हाउस गैस मॉलिक्यूल्स एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं. तो इस तरीके से ये चेन बन जाती है. दिस प्रोसेस कीप्स हीट नियर द अर्थ सरफेस. मोस्ट ऑफ द गैस इन द एटमॉस्फेयर इज नाइट्रोजन एंड ऑक्सीजन, which cannot absorb heat and contribute to the greenhouse effect. A couple of common greenhouse gases. Two main molecules, two main gases are main greenhouse gas. One is carbon dioxide, another is methane. Carbon dioxide molecule make up a small fraction of atmosphere, but they have a large effect on climate. There was about 270 parts per million volume of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere in the mid-19th century at the start of the Industrial Revolution. The amount is growing as burning fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. There is about 400 times parts per million वॉल्यूम नाउ. 270 से 400 पार्ट्स पर मिलियन वॉल्यूम और बढ़ रहा है ये तेजी से. नेक्स्ट मेन गैस इज मीथेन, अ पावरफुल ग्रीन हाउस गैस able to absorb far more heat than carbon dioxide. Methane is made of 1 carbon and 4 hydrogen atom make a CH4 methane molecule. It is found in very small quantity in the atmosphere but is able to make a big impact on warming. Methane gas is also used as a fuel which burn or release carbon dioxide gas into the atmosphere. More greenhouse gases is equals to warmer earth. जितनी ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस होंगी उतनी ज़्यादा अर्थ वार्म होगी, उतना ज़्यादा टेम्परेचर राइज होगा. Even though only a tiny amount of gas in earth atmosphere are greenhouse gas, they have a huge effect on climate. Sometime during the century, the amount of greenhouse gas carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is expected to double. Other greenhouse gases like methane and nitrous oxide are increasing as well. The quantity of greenhouse gases is increasing as fossil fuel are burned, releasing the gas and other air pollution into the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases also make their way to the atmosphere from other sources. Farm animals, for example, release methane gas as they digest food. As cement is made from limestone, it releases carbon dioxide. With more greenhouse gas in the air, heat passing through on its way out of the atmosphere is more likely to be stopped. The added greenhouse gas absorb the heat, they then radiate this heat. Some of the heat will head away from the earth, some of it will be absorbed by another greenhouse gas molecule, and some of it will wind up back at the planet's surface again. With more greenhouse gases, heat will stick around warming the planet. जितनी ज़्यादा ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस उतनी ज़्यादा वो प्लैनेट वार्म होगा, उतना ज़्यादा वहाँ टेम्परेचर राइज करेगा. These are the graphs. Driving cars that burn gasoline and making electricity by burning coal and gas releases carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Curing of cement emits carbon dioxide too. Since the late 19th century, when factories powered by coal became common, the amount of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere each year has increased. The graph above shows how emissions have increased over time. Note that carbon dioxide can stay in the atmosphere for a long time. So, emission year after year add up, increase hota ja raha hai. To get the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere to stop increasing will take a decline in emissions similar to the increase since the 1950s. These are natural factors that can change Earth's temperature like sunspot and volcanic eruption, but these factors are not responsible for current warming. In fact, it would be a little bit cooler than it's today if the sun and volcanoes were control the climate. So this is all about greenhouse effect, real greenhouse warming, real greenhouse effect, anti-greenhouse effect. Thank you.